We are rolling. Hello everyone. This is my first ever doll review. For those of you who are coming from YouTube and don't know me yet from Instagram, I am Miranda and I collect dolls and I make dolls and I cast dolls. So it's really exciting to start making videos for you all. There's a lot in this hobby that I really enjoy and a lot of different types of crafts that I do. So just as kind of a precursor, like over time, I'd like to share some tutorials with you all, lots of doll reviews for my collection, how-tos on how to make dolls, how to do casting, some of the more interesting technical stuff as well. So I hope that you get excited about joining this journey with me, and we'll start it off with something relatively simple. Not easy for me because making videos, but simple. So here we go. Today I am going to be doing a doll review of DikaDoll Mudan. I got Mudan off of the Doll K US website. I ordered her actually like last August and she came in just a couple months ago, so we had some long lead times due to COVID, but overall it wasn't like too far outside of what I would expect for some doll companies. Her sales page originally listed her in a full set, and while it was very beautiful, it wasn't quite the vision that I had in mind for her. This is not the vision either, but I skipped on the full set and I just ordered the blank doll with face up. So you can kind of see what she looks like. She's a little washed out, but she's got just some nice like lip blushing. She's got a little bit of blushing on her nose. Of course, her eyes are all done and very light eyebrows, and that's it. I didn't get body blushing or anything for her. So I'm effectively just reviewing the blank doll. And for the sake of this video, I wanted to start out with her looking cute. So quick shout out to my friend on Instagram, Weeping Whimsy, who made this beautiful yarn wig. So soft, so pretty. And you can see Mudan looking nice at you before we analyze everything about her. So here we go. Let's see, let me talk about the box opening for just a moment. When I first saw Mudan, when she first arrived, one of the first things that happened when she came out of the box was that the her neck kept snapping backwards like this. So I left her this way because I knew I wanted to do a review on her, but this is likely just a tensioning issue from the company. So I don't think that's a flaw or anything, and likely I'll be able to fix it by just, taking off the head, playing with the elastic a little bit, or, loosening it, or maybe even getting a new elastic if it comes down to that. But it's not anything out of the norm. Please ignore her if she does that a couple times while we're moving her around. One of the first things I noticed when I took Mudan out of the box is just how big her eyes were. For me, this is a positive. I really, really like the dolls with the large eyes, and they just they feel cute to me. Well, my favorite kind of dolls, like size of dolls, are these 40 centimeters and also the SD size. I do like the large kind of princess-esque eyes. And those happen to be more typical with the USD sides, but I really like these on her, and so they were very striking to me. She did not come with these eyes that I have in her, and unfortunately I don't know the background of where these eyes are from anymore, but they fit nicely in her and are a pretty purple, so I think I might leave them there. The other thing that I noticed is that she's got the blushing on her nose, and for me, I'm not quite sure that I like that myself. If that's some people's taste, of course you can see it here and enjoy it, but I would have definitely liked to have that like a more just not as prominent kind of feature of her. I think that her nose sculpt is very pretty, and that makes it look a little rounder than it actually is. If you look at her side profile, oops, see, there we go. If you look at her side profile, she's got a very gorgeous, pointy nose, and I would like to do something with her face eventually that makes that a little more obvious from the front. So keep in mind that her nose isn't quite what it looks. I have quite a few other dolls, and so when I opened her box, like, there were some things that immediately stood out to me that are different from, a few of my slightly nicer ones. Or, I mean, how do I put this? Slightly more costly ones. Anyway, I mean, you're all in the hobby. You all know how it goes. In any case, her elbows do, oh goodness, the washout on this is pretty tough to see. See if I can fix that for a second. There we go. Okay. So her elbows do fit really, really nicely together. And like, gosh, they look pretty good from the side as well when they're nice and clasped together. Like, I think there's a really good profile there. But somehow when she's like, when I set her down, her hands always spin. So, you know, if you just are ready to fix her every time you're taking a photo of her, it's not a super big deal, and that's what I do. But it's just like, again, it's an out of the box kind of thing. And like, she has a couple little peg pieces in there that I think like should help with that maybe once I restring her a little bit. But for now, like, we have a lot of temper tantruming going on in the corner once she's not getting played with. You know, whatever. In general, I'm a fan of the joint design. I think, you know, hands are pretty basic. Yeah, there you go. Hands are pretty basic with the ball at the front. You already saw these elbows, but to be very explicit, they've kind of got this peanut in the middle, but it's not quite a peanut, and it works very well, like, visually. I like her little bit of detail on her neck. It's very sleek, and like, I don't know, it's just, it's cute, it's well done, it's not too much, and I think it really matches like the overall feel of her sculpt. Kind of basics for, try to keep her decent for you all. Sorry, my phone battery hates me now that I do video. Okay, all good. Try to keep her decent while I'm showing you guys some stuff, but so there is her leg. It's kind of the typical, you know, rotating joint at the thigh now, and it's got a couple little bumps in there to keep it oriented forward, which the legs actually do quite well, so that's good. And then the knee has the same kind of like longish ball, semi peanut thing, though it's not quite a peanut, it's just two spheres. And then the shape on her leg is also really, really pleasant. So from, you know, a body perspective, like, I think her limbs are done quite well. Let me see if I can manage to, again, maintain decency here a little bit to show you how the body is made. 1 second. So, without going crazy and making, you know, attempts to give her lingerie and let you see as much as possible, I think hopefully you can get the idea. She's got the three-part torso. Separates, so there are two holes going up the middle that'll keep her legs even, nice and even, and then separates. There we go, and then separates underneath her bust. And everything fits really, really well together. So her midsection isn't like spinning at all when I'm not expecting it to. You know, even though she's tightly strung, she's already posing very well, and so that's why I hesitate to unstring her a little bit and maybe just am willing to keep playing with her head. Like, that's so cute to me, just that little like punch to the side, look where, okay, that's cute. And, you know, holding up and putting her arm forward so she can wrap her arm around like other dolls really nicely. And let's see what else about the posing. I mean, it's pretty typical, you know, it's your pretty kind of typical, like, does she sit and stand well? Yes. You know, there's a bent knee for you. Now we got a good bend. There's a really good bend. there's a really good bend. From a resin quality standpoint, I think like the color is really quite nice. You know, I can't actually remember if I had a resin color option. It was so long ago since she was in the full set. I don't think I had an option. But this is nice, and it's quite similar to like quite a few of my other dolls, like my Unoas and things like that, have this kind of similar color. One of my older Volks is definitely like very close to this color as well. So yeah, unfortunately, like I know she's been looking a little washed out this whole review, but that kind of area looks correct to me right now, and so I can do a comparison with her against a few dolls. If you guys want it, go ahead and request in the comments if that's something that you would like to see. I've got quite a few dolls I can compare her to, so if there's any you think of that you might want, let me know if you have a request in specific, or you can feel free to message me if you want to know what's in my collection that I might be able to compare her to that you might have. Let's see. Other commentary. I guess I already put the wig on quite specifically. Oh, the head cap's coming off with the wig. Figures. Goodness. Well, anyway. There is the head cap. It's got a magnet and a little tab inside to keep it on. Inside the top of the head is a little magnet, and of course the S-hook comes up through. She's got a really big hole inside the bottom of her head. I'm not quite sure why it's that large, but it's functionally fine. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can get her head back on. Okay. Imperfect things happening here, but I have the wig attached too tightly to the cap right now to take it off elegantly for you guys. So there is her head side profile. As somebody who has quite a few to reference, this head thing is actually one of my personal biggest pet peeves. So like you see where the back of the head comes down around, and then where it attaches over, like I know it gets covered up by a wig in most cases, but for some reason that kind of like overcut just like feels very clunky to me on a lot of, you know, in a lot of cases where people do that. So like, I think that's actually one of my biggest negatives, is just like, I kind of don't prefer that visual. That being said, for you, if you like everything else about the doll, as I really do, you can cover it up with a wig and not look at it in detail like I have. Talked about resin color, but one other thing I did want to mention is that in particular on this doll, I do feel like her resin is a little bit, what's a good word for it, like overly shiny. It's like those days where I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, my face is really shiny. I should pat that down a little bit, huh? And so I don't know if like over time maybe that might kind of like even out a little bit, but I do have to say that her resin is probably my least favorite type of resin out of my collection. I wish I knew what it was made out of so I could tell you guys, but I do not. I'll end on one more cute thing that I did really like though. So I was able to change her hands out when I got her and give her these really cute little fists. I don't know, I love little fists on the dolls, and I just think for like the cuter looking dolls that like being able to kind of have them set at relaxed, kind of like in their relaxed pose with their little hands down, or kind of like put them up towards their face and be like, oh, I'm so sweet, just like this. You know, I think that's really cute, and like I enjoy staging photos with that kind of personality in them as well. So I have been trying to get her generally set up to kind of do that thing, and in spite of her causing me a moment of trouble here on camera, of course, I've usually been able to get that to kind of stay there. I'd love to be able to show you it working exactly as I love it, and but you get the picture. Anyway, so she holds her poses very, very well, and the actual like total mobility of the joints is quite impressive. Most other dolls that I've had like don't like hold this kind of bend. So that's really awesome, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about her. I think that's pretty much it. Nothing major crazy happened when I ordered her. It just took a while. No problems with doll K or anything like that either. I think I emailed them at one point in the process and asked them, you know, hey, how's she doing? Have you heard from the company? And they gave me an ETA of like 1 more month, and that turned out to be exactly true. So I appreciated that. Clearly very correct communication, and once the doll came in, they just emailed me immediately, let me confirm a photo of the doll, and once I had made a final confirmation of my order, they sent her out and she arrived very quickly through EMS. So the overall arc of the process I found to be relatively seamless and easy to manage, and got good communication as well. So my overall review of the doll herself, without any of the, you know, shipping involved as well, like that's a good review for the shipping. Well, kind of, I don't know if this makes her look better or worse. That makes her look worse, but for a second I will kind of back up and show you the whole doll. Let me see if I can get that a little better on her. Yeah, okay. So there's the whole doll. I probably should have shown you that first, but here we are. She's about 42 centimeters. She's very easy to handle, very good size for, like, you know, my hands. And I am a petite person, so that's nice. And then my overall review of her is that, you know, I really like her. I think, like, between cuteness and posability, she definitely meets and exceeds a lot of expectations from, like, an engineering standpoint as well. So she's very fun to set on the shelf, and she's got a very cute overall shape. See if I can pull the dress back a little bit to kind of give you the last little bit of... You can kind of see her waist is like just a little bit tucked, so not like too much or anything, not too crazy, but just enough to work with that I think like making outfits for her is going to be very fun and a great size to manage as well. So yeah, overall, my review is very positive, and definitely I recommend for anybody looking at the DikaDolls. I do think the face-ups that they show on their product listings are quite indicative of what you'll see in the end. Like, I think, you know, the only thing that caught me off guard, like I mentioned, the nose was a little more prominent than I thought, but otherwise I felt like she really matched my expectations and the image that I had in my mind. So for that, okay, so that will conclude my doll review for today, my first ever doll review. Woo! Yay for acting like a dork when you're filming yourself in front of nobody. But yes, it's still exciting to me. It's my first ever doll review. And I'm open to suggestions on what kind of dolls you want to see in future videos. If you want to message me and ask what doll list I have, I'm happy to share that, and you can make specific requests out of that. I've got all sorts of like crafts that I love doing. That's the whole reason I got into doll making and collecting dolls, is that it's just so fun to sew for them and to make shoes for them. And I've got all the stuff to make wigs and eyes, but haven't quite dared trying that yet. So if you're interested in seeing like something like first try from a noob at making doll eyes, I could do something like that too. That might be actually kind of fun. I especially will go ahead and for sure make tutorials on doll making and casting, some of the more technical side as well. My background, in addition to doing art since I was like a tiny baby, is actually mostly focused in engineering through my education. So if you guys want to talk casting or any of like the technical aspects of designing the dolls at some point, you know, let me know. I have gone from hand sculpting and seeing just how intensely limited that kind of felt at a small scale to trying hand sculpting for a 1/4 size doll and now doing 3D sculpting. So I'm happy to help with any of that sort of thing, or just discuss as dolly friends if you want to. Now I'll be coming back from one of many cuts because not only did I blather off, I ended up saying 500,000 times, but I just kind of want to, you know, acknowledge that a big part of the doll hobby for me is making friends inside it. And so I like to be as cordial and awkward and fun-loving as possible, and hope that you all will feel that you can reach out and ask a lot of questions, no matter how, you know, new you are to the hobby, or if you just feel like you're like really having trouble with a specific thing that I make a tutorial on. I just kind of want to put that out there here in my first video, that I really like to try to teach other people and make sure that everybody's gonna have a good time in the things that they do. So look forward to all that is gonna come up in the near future, and let me know if there's anything that I can do for you. And if you like all of my work, you can see my doll making portfolio on Instagram, most actively on Instagram, at Miranda of Cali. I think it's the same as my YouTube, Miranda_of_Cali. And also, the favorite ask, but if you do like what I do and you do want to see more videos and enable me to, you know, get the materials to continue making my dolls and make really nice tutorials for all of you, you can also visit my Patreon with the same name as well. I will put links in the YouTube description. So it would be really helpful if you're willing and able to support on this journey. If you are able to join my Patreon, same name again, Miranda of Cali, and help contribute to, you know, current things like my doll making, and especially like materials and time for making tutorials for you all. There will be some subscriber locked content on tutorials and other cool things I put on my Patreon. I'll talk as well, I don't know if video or written, but we'll see, as about how to start a business, and I'll connect specifically to how to start a business with regards to art, because running businesses is actually more my current background than the art side of it has been for a little while. In addition, on my Patreon, there will be like progress journal updates for my own doll, all my learnings about that, and there are some tiers where you can have priority in the orders for when I finally do release a doll. So it would mean a lot if you're willing and able to do that, and will help me build this business to be a resource for the whole community. So I appreciate in advance anybody considering doing that, and hope that you will follow me on Instagram as well. Okay, I'm back for a second. I think I'm supposed to ask you guys to like and subscribe this video, and I don't think I did that in my earlier recording, so here is the clip for me asking you to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys for being here so far. First one, done. Made it. Survived. Okay, see you next time.